Hello people, I'm Monica and how are you guys doing? So you know what, the other day I was taking a stroll and I found these feathers on the road and I swear I couldn't stop myself from picking them up. They were like really pretty. So I spent a week trying to do some really cool stuff out of them. Go ahead and check out my hashtag feather jugaad for the week. So let's start with a cool funky feather braid, and for that here's what you need: a pen, a pair of scissors, thread, a couple of shells, some colorful wool, some colorful feathers and fevicol. Firstly, take 3 different colors of wool and make sure that they are long and equal in length. Because this will be a detachable braid, we need to create a loop. And for that, we will first determine the midpoint of the strands and tie a knot with the help of a pen. I want my braid to start with blue color, so I have separated it. Now start rolling it over the other colors. To change the color to pink, start rolling that strand over the others. You can also choose whichever color you want, but make sure you have a pattern set in your mind before you start braiding. I will stop braiding here because I think this length is slightly longer than my hair, and that is what is really needed. Make sure you do the same. Next, tie a bunch of feathers together with some thread to make the tail of the braid. Now attach the feathers to the braid, and the easiest way to do this is to roll the wool over the feathers. With the leftover strand of wool, attach the shells to the braid. For that, run the wool through the shell and roll it over. Once the shells are attached, cut off the extra portion and secure the end with some glue. Remember to give it a day to dry. And for the final touch, all you need to do is to attach a tic-tac pin to the loop that we had created. And here it is, your detachable feather braid. Next up is a feather brooch, and for that, here's what you need: safety pin, a big button, feathers and thread, a glue gun. First, take a couple of feathers together and tie them up with a thread. Next, attach them to the back of the button with the help of glue. After that, attach the safety pin to the brooch, and for that, make sure that the pointed end is facing upwards. And that's it! Here's your pretty feather brooch. All you need to do is to team it up with a nice blazer, and this is how you can accessorize your formal wear. Now we'll make a feather retro band, and for that you will need a pair of scissors, few colorful feathers, few black beads, elastic hairband, golden wire, black wool and glue gun. Take 6 equal strands of wool and tie them up together before you braid. Next, divide them into 3 pairs and start braiding. Once you reach the end, tie a knot to secure it and cut off the excess wool. To create the tail of the braid, you will need a feather, golden wire and a bead. Insert the feather inside the bead and also take the wire through the bead. Next, take one end of the wire and poke it through the tail of the braid. Twist both the ends together to keep them in place and roll the extra wire around the braid. Sometimes the feather does get loose, and for that, take another piece of wire and wrap it around the feather to make sure it is tight and secure. So we are done with this one, and I have made several similar braids. Next, take the hairband and start attaching these braids to the band. You can either tie them up or use some glue to fix them. And here it is, your feather retro band. And coming up next is one of my favorites, a feather necklace. And to make this, you'll need glue gun, some colorful feathers, few beads, a golden wire, a pair of scissors, a bangle, fevicol, and some colorful wool. Before covering the bangle with the wool, first we need to create a loop. To do that, place your finger between the bangle and the double knot. Once the knot is done, fix it to the inside of the bangle with some glue. After that, wrap the entire bangle with the wool. While you do this, make sure that the wrapping is really tight. As you can see, I have used a pencil to make sure that the wool does not get entangled. Once the bangle is covered, secure the end. Tie the knot with the leftover thread of the first knot. Next, insert the feather inside the bead. After that, take a piece of wire and run it through the same bead. Twist both the ends together and coil it with the feather. And this is how your feather will be attached to the bead. Next, we will attach the feather to the bangle. To do that, take a long piece of wire and coil one end on the bangle and the other on the feather. So I have attached 3 such feathers to my bangle. To fill up the center of the bangle, glue 3 beads together. Next, take a piece of wire and run it through the bead. Twist both the ends together and coil it on the bangle. To complete the necklace, take a string of wool and run it through the loop. Tie a knot at the end. You can choose any string or chain of your choice. And woohoo! Here goes your feather necklace. So don't forget to flaunt your feather necklace at the next party you go to and tell me how it goes. Well, that's all for the day, but before I leave, there's a quick tip for you. If you find feathers like these on the road which have these gaps, just expose them to some steam and then you'll see these gaps vanish. Also, the feather will feel very smooth and ticklish. So that's all for the day. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have your suggestions and some feather jugaads, do drop in your comment with #featherjugaad. Also, you can subscribe to my channel #Jugaad for more such videos. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. This is Monica with #Jugaad. Share it, like it if you love it. Bye-bye.